Welcome back to another tutorial. Okay, the basic measurement needed for this to make this beautiful skirt you're seeing on your screen, which is a 180-degree flare skirt, is our waist circumference, the length of the skirt, as well as the radius for the waist, which is calculating the radius for the waist using the waist circumference will be waist circumference divided by 3.14, because this is a 180-degree flare. And then I've gone ahead to fold my fabric just the way you see it, not a straight fold, in a slant way. Yeah, to give that shape, you want to fold it that way. And the next thing will be to calculate the radius. The radius will help us to determine the placement, the starting point for our waist, where the waist will start from. I'll give us that shape, that coffee shape. And then I've gone ahead to calculate it using my calculator. The waist I used there was plus 1 inch for the sewing allowance on this on the side. I did images of 38 in all, divided by 3.14, and that gave me around 12 3/4 inches, 12 and 3/4 thereabouts. And then all you need to do is place your tape rule the way you will see me do it now, the starting point of the fabric that we folded. All we need to do, like I said, place your tape rule on that starting point and then measure down what you have for your radius. Use your waist circumference to determine that with the calculations, which is 3 point divided by 3.14. Whatever you have, measure it from there and it will give you that shape. Once you measure it all around, you will have a kind of a curvy shape, not a straight one. And then from there, you want to measure the length of your skirt. And for this skirt, there's going to be a separate band which you're going to be attaching. So you want to do well to take the inches for your waist band from it. If you don't want it to be too long, yeah, you want to do that. And then whatever you have left rather, then you place it on your fabric the same way you see me do, and then mark it on your fabric like that all the way around. You're marking it all the way around, right from the marking we made on the waistline, just like that. By so doing, we're going to have a shape at the edge. It's going to be curved. It's not going to be straight at the hem, and neither will it be straight on the waistline. I hope you understand what I mean by that. So just follow the same way I did it. And then I've gone ahead to cut it, the waist part out, which is the part we don't need before the waistline. And then for the side, you want to blend it nicely to match up with what you have on the fold there. As you can see, this part here, this particular part, you want to make sure it rhymes, like it's the same. The excess, you make sure you cut it out so that you can have an equal length, and at the same time the shape, for the shape to be perfect on the side. Then go ahead and notch the center front, and that just does it for the front. As you can see, it's so simple. Anyone can make this. You don't have to be a fashion designer to be able to sew this kind of a skirt. And then to cut the back, now you just need to fold your fabric the same way we did for the front, and then go ahead and place your front pattern just as you are seeing me, as you see me do on your screen. Place it the same way. Do well to pin it down. And sometimes, because of the length of the skirt, depending on the length of the skirt and the way you folded it, you might need to join to a side. I'm talking about the cutting the back now. Sometimes on the side parts here, there's always need to join a little bit depending on the length of the skirt though. Yeah, some you might not require, you might not need to join because of the length, but if the length is long, sometimes you might need to just join. But that mostly happens for this part and the back pattern, on the back pattern. So I've placed it that way, and I've also added 1 inch for the zipper allowance, which I'm still going to show you that part. You must have seen it, but I'm still going to show you. This is what I was explaining the other time. Sometimes there is always need, that there will be need to join. So it's okay to join on that part. It's just towards the side, and that is likely to fall on the side and is at the hem of the skirt, which is perfectly okay. It's okay to have joining. Then I've gone ahead to cut it out that way. And here is the place I was talking about. I added 1 inch at the center back for the zipper allowance, and do well to notch that part. Very important. And then that is just the way to go about to cut it. If you don't want to put a lining, it's all right. Just go ahead, join the center back together, but leave like some inches up to like 10 or 11 for the zipper to insert your zipper, and then join the sides as well. It's so simple. Then we'll go ahead to join your band. So, and that I'm going to show you. Like I said, leave a little bit of space on the center back, and then for the zipper, and join the remaining up to the hem. Now let's go into the cutting of the band. Yeah, the skirt band. For this particular one, you can decide to fold it on a like bending it, making it slant, but make sure your folding is on a fold, in the sense that, look at what I'm doing here. Can you see what I'm doing? Fold it that way. That is what we call on a fold. Then measure the length you want to use, how wide you want your band to be. On this one, I think I did made use of 2.5. Sometimes I use 2, and then the half of it will be for the joining to the main skirt, and the 2 inches for the will remain for the band by the time we join in. But you can as well use 2. I use either 2 or 2.5, any inches of your choice, depending on how wide you want your band to be. And for the whatever you have as your waist circumference, just go ahead and measure it. And once you know, this is the way this is folded is into 2, right? So you just want to measure and then cut it out that way. Not just the exact waist measurement. Now what you have on the waist, add few inches to it. It's very important. You can always trim it if it's too long. And for this particular one, the band, I'm going to be putting after the zipper, there's going to be, we call something a nice hook and nice for the skirt. I'm going to be using that on that part, so I will soon get to that part. If you have watched this video to this level, do well to give it a like, and if you're yet to subscribe, please do subscribe to my channel to help me, encourage me to keep making more videos. And then I thought to add a pocket on both sides, and that is the pocket I've gone ahead to cut out. Let me know in the comment section if you would like to see the way I went about to cut this pocket. It's so simple. So I will add the pocket. I've lined it with a white material underneath, and then I've already installed the zipper. So this is the way to place your band. I've gone ahead to iron a stay on the band, and I folded the edges 0.5 on both sides in, and then starting the way you want to place it is like this. I love to do this from the inside. I'm going to be starting from the inside. I'll first sew it from the inside, then turn it over to the outer part, which is the outside part, and then I'm leaving about 1.5 inches on that part for the hook. You know, by the time we finish, this is the way I expect it to look like. I'm still going to explain again. By the time we finish joining, this is the way we expect it to look like. But the way to go about to sew it now is what I want to explain to you. Yeah, it is expected to be like this, but then this is how to do it. Place your band right side facing the wrong side of the fabric, the inside part of the fabric, right? Okay, we'll get to there. This is just me explaining something here. So I'll open it out now. Place it that way. The right side of the band facing the inside part, or the wrong side of the fabric that way, and sew it all the way around. So I'm taking it to the sewing machine. Thought to share this part so that you can see what I'm trying to do. The same way, the same thing I've explained. I think I left about 1.5 inches out. Then start the sewing that way. And you see it from inside. And then you want to sew on your sewing allowance with 0.5. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to sew it all the way around on 0.5. So for this particular band type, you can as well insert your elastic. Yeah, for those people that love elastic, you can also put elastic aside from the zipper. You can put elastic all around or just on the side, the both sides. Let me know in the comment section if it's something you would like to see, or yeah, then I can make a video on that. But this is just going to be a band, no elastic. Yeah, so that's where you just want to go ahead and sew it on, sew it straight on, and then we'll be looking at how to flip it over to the other side and finish it up nicely. So from one end to the other, go ahead and sew it. Like I said, I've got loads of video on my channel, guys. Support your girls, like, comment, watch, and share me out. And let me know if there's any style you would like us to look at together, then I can make a video on it. So towards the end now, I'm just gonna, because this part I'm gonna be trimming off the excess. That's why I said when you're cutting out the band, make sure there is excess. Yeah, it's better to have excess than shortage. Though I'm gonna cut out the excess on that part and fold the remaining just like you see me do. Fold it, bend it in, yeah, to give it nice finishing look. That way we're done with the first sewing, and now we want to flip that part on. Yeah, now sewing it towards the right side rather. Yeah, we push the allowance, what we've sewn, the joining in, and then cover it up with the other side of the band, just like that. And the good thing is I've already ironed, pressed in the sewing allowances, which is 0.5, and that makes it easy for me. All I did was on this part, I folded that part, I left 1.5, folded it that way, everything inside, tuck it in, right? If you like, you can pin it. Yeah, there's no crime in doing that. You can always pin it if you know you might struggle in to sew it or in sewing it, just pin it down. So I've done that, and then go ahead and stitch on it that way. Yeah, that is for the part that will go in by the time I'll be putting in the hook and eyes for the back. And this is the better view for you to see. And this way you want to go ahead and sew it all the way through to the other side. Then after sewing, you tack your, what's it called now, tack the hook, yeah, to where they are supposed to be. And that is just a simple way that I went about to sew this skirt. And like I said, anyone can make this. You can use this as a church wear, occasional wear, anything at all. And any material can be used to actually make this particular skirt. So that is it for today. That is it for me for today, guys. So do well to like, comment, and subscribe if you are yet to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you again in my next video. I hope this is useful. Let me know in the comment section if you find this video helpful. So lastly, now on that part, I'm just going to try, you can see that you just fold everything in, bend it in, make sure you tuck every rough edges in, and make sure it appears so clean, so neat. You need to take your time to do this part. And that is how I went about to do it. And for the zipper, I'll push it in on that part, yeah. And then that is it. There's another way of cutting the band. I think in another video I'm going to be showing you, yeah, where we cut it in such a way that will look like a corporate wear. Yes, so I'm going to show you in another video. And that is it, guys. That is the view. Can you see that? Then go ahead and attach your hook, and then your skirt is ready. So guys, like I said, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.